From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, I'm Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Wednesday, September 13th. Even with the added sunshine we'll get today, highs are only going to get into the low 70s after a really chilly start to the morning. There is the potential for a few showers northwest of Indy in the afternoon hours, but it should be mainly dry regardless. And breaking news this morning, escaped murderer Danilo Cavalcante has been captured after an extensive search. This is according to Pennsylvania State Police. The manhunt had entered its second week today. According to police, Cavalcante had stolen a .22 caliber rifle from an open garage Monday night in a township just west of Philadelphia. The homeowner told police he shot at Cavalcante but didn't believe he'd wounded him. Some 500 officers had been searching an 8-mile perimeter near the shooting ever since. Cavalcante escaped from prison August 31st. He was serving a life sentence for killing an ex-girlfriend in 2021. And back here in central Indiana this morning, the Hamilton Southeastern School Board held an emergency meeting to make a change at the top. Superintendent Yvonne Stokes is resigning. It's not clear why she's leaving the district. The board's agenda shows it will approve a contract for Assistant Superintendent Matt Keegley to take over. Stokes has served the district's leader since 2021. Some parents protested her appointment with signs like "Education, not indoctrination," and HSE board, "Stop attacking our children." One parent and attorney tells News 8 she thinks the district is forcing Stokes out.
There's, generally speaking, no reason for you to get a separation agreement. I expect the separation agreement, which of course we haven't seen yet, to give her some money and have an agreement in it that she won't sue the school corporation. And I think if those two things are included in the separation agreement, that tells us that this isn't her quitting the job.
You can find the latest developments of the meeting at wishtv.com. A decades-long staple on Monument Circle is moving. A real estate broker listed the Emmis Communications building for $35 million. Emmis has headquartered its sports and entertainment radio conglomerate on the southwest side of the circle since 1998. Last year, it sold most of its stations to Urban One, including Indianapolis stations WIBC, Country 97.1 Hank FM, 107.5 The Fan, and B1057. WIBC still broadcasts from the building. Urban One and Star Bank are listed as the tenants. Emmis says it plans to stay in Indianapolis and that the sale is not expected to immediately affect any tenants. A longtime Kokomo police officer is off the job for now and faces charges. The Kokomo Police Department says Travis Williams showed up at his wife's home unannounced last week, violating a protective order that restricts his contact with her. It happened late last week. Williams was arrested Tuesday. Williams has served with the department for 15 years. He's charged with invasion of privacy and is currently on administrative leave. A southern Indiana sheriff warns of a problem that many counties may face, a shortage of deputies. They say they need more funding to address the issue. Scott County Sheriff Jerry Gooden says low pay, morale, and a lack of respect is making it hard to retain and recruit qualified deputies. He says his office has 16 full-time deputies and are struggling to fill 3 open positions. Gooden says he's cutting back on proactive patrols and staffing at the jail, which could cause issues.
We have already dropped down to letting single officers do transports. That's a dangerous situation for our officers. It's a dangerous situation for the prisoners.
The Indiana Fraternal Order of Police says this is a growing trend, with the deputies moving to larger agencies for better pay. That includes Hamilton County, where starting pay is $61,000 compared to Scott County's $46,000. The owner of a Beech Grove bowling alley tells IT-Mate the mayor is wrongly blaming it for recent violence. Mayor Dennis Buckley says he'll encourage the state liquor board to pull licenses for businesses with patterns of violence. He calls Beech Grove Bowl a nuisance because of a shooting there over Labor Day weekend. The owner says the city should focus on the people committing the violence, not the businesses.
There's nothing that we could have done that would have prevented people being stupid and arguing and then just open fire against each other. I mean, I don't know how we were supposed to prevent that from happening.
I understand their position. I get it. But my position is that this happened on your property. You are the business owner, and you have a responsibility to maintain the peace at your establishment.
Mayor Buckley says he's also encouraged police to go after the bad actors. Also today, a judge will decide whether to allow cameras in the court for the trial of Brian Kohberger. He's the man accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students last year. Family members of 2 of the victims say it is vitally important to have the trial televised. Kohberger waived his right to a speedy trial last month. That led the judge to postpone the trial, which was set to start in less than a month. He has not set a new date yet. 5 former Memphis police officers faced federal charges in the death of 29-year-old Tyree Nichols. A grand jury indicted them yesterday on 4 counts. Nichols died January 10th, 3 days after the officers chased and violently beat him. The grand jury alleges the officers used excessive force and purposefully tried to keep their body cameras out of view of the beating. It also alleges they then conspired to cover the whole incident up. 2 of the federal counts carry potential sentences of life in prison, with the others up to 20 years each. The officers have already pleaded not guilty to the second-degree murder charges in state courts. A police officer in Seattle, Washington, is explaining a joke that has led to an investigation. A body camera caught the controversial comment from Daniel Otterer. He said it at the scene of a deadly crash. A squad car heading to an overdose call hit a woman, killing her. Otterer was assigned to determine if the officer at the wheel was impaired. Otterer's body camera recorded this.
But she is dead. No, it's a regular person. Yeah. Yeah, just write a check. Just... Yeah, $11,000. She was 26 anyway. She had limited value.
Obviously, that was Otterer's side of a two-way conversation. Otterer's explanation is, as reported by radio station KTTH, he meant to mock lawyers, settlements, and the concept of bargaining over a tragedy. The report also says Otterer reported himself to the Office of Police Accountability. A city watchdog agency is now investigating. And today, the newest gauge of inflation comes out. The Labor Department releases the Consumer Price Index this morning. The forecast from economists through FactSet, a year-to-year increase of 3.6%, which would be a jump over last month, almost entirely on an increase in fuel prices. Otherwise, they say inflation is cooling for other costs. Experts are predicting the most expensive presidential election cycle to date. Ad tracking firm Ad Impact anticipates ad spending to reach $10.2 billion across all platforms. That's a 13% increase from the 2019-2020 elections. Ad Impact points to the highly contested presidential election, thin margins in Congress, and the influence of abortion-related ballot measures as reasons to drive up spending. One of football's biggest offseason stories is over just 4 snaps into the regular season. The New York Jets confirm Aaron Rodgers is done for the year. He suffered an Achilles tear early in Monday's game against the Bills. He's now on injured reserve just 5 months after the blockbuster deal that ended his Hall of Fame run with the Packers. The Jets head coach offered this about the quarterback.
I feel more for Aaron than anyone. He's invested so much into this organization, so much into this journey that he's embarked on, and wanting to be a part of what we've got going here.
The Jets say backup Zach Wilson will be the starter going forward. George Strait is coming to Lucas Oil Stadium. He'll be joined by Chris Stapleton and Little Big Town May 4th of next year. The show is Strait's first in Indianapolis in more than a decade. Tickets go on sale next Friday morning at 10 o'clock. A new tournament is coming to the Grand Park Sports Campus in Westfield. The Pickleball Collegiate Championships and Midwest Open was announced yesterday. College teams from across the country will be competing for a grand prize of $50,000. The event will also feature a tournament for pickleball players of all ages and skill levels. It'll take place January 3rd through the 7th. Registration for the tournament opens tomorrow. And a business headlines. A panel of U.S. regulatory advisors said phenylphren, a main component of over-the-counter cold medicines, including some versions of Procter & Gamble company's NyQuil, doesn't actually work. It could next begin a process to remove the drug from the market, forcing manufacturers, including P&G, Kenvue, which makes Sudafed, and Reckitt Benckiser, the group of Mucinex, reformulate many popular cough and cold products. Consumers spent about $1.8 billion on products containing phenylphren in 2022, according to the FDA. Apple just unveiled its new iPhone 15, and now AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile are offering the phones for free for new customers. The promotion intensity signals not just the urgency of the sales push going into the holiday season, but will likely be a test of just how much cost the carriers are willing to take on in the hunt for subscriber growth. Also, Dish debuts $60 memberships with free annual iPhone upgrades. Online shoppers were greeted by rapidly falling prices in August, marking another positive sign in the fight against inflation. E-commerce prices tumbled 3.2% year over year in August. Adobe Analytics said Tuesday that's the biggest annual drop in 40 months, or just over 3 years. The biggest price drops were seen in computers. A survey of 2,000 pet owners conducted by One Poll on behalf of PetMeds found that leaving pets alone at home is a significant source of stress, with 44% of respondents expressing worries about their pets experiencing separation anxiety. On average, pet parents begin to miss their pets just 37 minutes after being apart, and throughout the day, pets enter their owners' thoughts about 13 times. Child poverty surged in the U.S. last year following the expiration of unprecedented pandemic-era benefits. The latest figures illustrate a worrisome trend for families as prices continue to rise, stimulus payments fade, and enhanced food and child care programs expire. That is stripping many Americans out of the advances seen during the pandemic and is already contributing to an increase in family homelessness. This has been your News 8 Daily. 8 for Wish TV, I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com, and like us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.